In this video, you will learn how to create and modify pad footings, strip footings, and wall panels. You will also learn how to use snap switches to control where to place objects, as well as use auto connections. Here you will see the outcome of what we'll model within this video. In this video, we will continue building the structure we started with in the previous video. Before we begin, make sure to have the model used in the previous video open. Let's start by working in the plane view or 2D view. Press Ctrl P to change from 3D view to plane view. You can rotate the view back to 3D by holding down Ctrl and dragging the model with the middle mouse button. Press Ctrl P to go back to plane view. Continue by creating pad footings. The command for creating pad footings is located on the Concrete tab of the ribbon. If you don't see the command, click Concrete tab and the ribbon slides to show the concrete commands. You can also scroll the ribbon with the mouse wheel. Click Footing and pick a position where you want to create pad footings. Let's create pad footings on the places where we will later connect columns to. We insert pad footings to the grid line intersection. This is the snap symbol for grid line intersection. Next, create a pad footing in the middle point of the grid line. As you can see, the snap symbol here is a triangle. You can define the positions where you want to snap to by activating or deactivating these snap switches. Let's create a foundation for the elevator shaft. Start creating it by adding a pad footing. To pick the middle point of the foundation, use a reference point. First, snap to this intersection. Hold down Ctrl and click the intersection. Now it is the reference point. As you can see, the distance between the intersections is 1900 millimeters, so the middle point is 950 millimeters from the reference point. Click the middle point to create the pad footing. Press the Escape key to end the command, or right-click and select Interrupt. Let's now select the pad footing. Here you can see the measurements of the footing. You can change the pad footing size by dragging the edges, or you can point at this symbol to show the Contextual Toolbar. The Contextual Toolbar appears when you select something in the model. The Contextual Toolbar allows you to quickly change basic properties of any object. You can drag the Contextual Toolbar anywhere on screen. If you hold down the Control key when dragging, you can select the position where the Contextual Toolbar appears in relation to the picked location. Let's position the Contextual Toolbar here. Let's change the profile of the pad footing by entering new size values in the Contextual Toolbar. Click the Profile field and type 2500 by 5400. Press Enter and make the change. Let's rotate to 3D to see the depth of the foundation better. First, press the V key and pick a viewpoint. You can now rotate the model around this point. Using the Contextual Toolbar, you can change the bottom and top level of the pad footing. Currently, the elevator shaft is 500 millimeters deep. We want to set it to 300 millimeters. So let's enter minus 300 millimeters and press Enter. Press Ctrl P to go back to plane view. Continue by creating strip footings between the pad footings. Click Footing and select Strip Footing. You will need to snap to the pad footing midpoints. There are two main snap switches. When this snap switch is active, you can snap to object reference points such as center points. However, when this snap switch is active, you can snap to object corners and edges. So let's deactivate this switch to snap to the pad footing midpoint more easily. Now let's create strip footings. Pick a start point and then an end point for the strip footing. Finish the command with the middle mouse button. You can follow the instructions here on the status bar. Next, create the strip footing to the edge of the elevator shaft foundation. To do that, activate the second snap switch. The next strip footing should be aligned with this strip footing, so let's activate the snap to extension line switch. As you see, now you can make a strip footing that is parallel to the footing you created previously. Now the strip footings are in place. Let's change the model representation so that the parts are not transparent. Go to the View tab on the ribbon, click Rendering, and select Parts Rendered. Notice that the pad footings and strip footings overlap. To correct this, use an auto connection. First, select all parts by using Area Selection. When you click and drag from left to right, you select objects that are completely within the rectangular area. When you click and drag from right to left, you select objects that are partly within the rectangular area. So let's select all parts. Click Components, and then select Create Auto Connections. Let's use the engineering cutback and click Create Connections. As you can see, the strip footings are now trimmed nicely to fit the pad footings. Let's rotate this pad footing to align it with the strip footings. Let's select the pad footing to open the Contextual Toolbar. Click Position. Click and drag this handle to rotate the pad footing. Notice how the fittings rotate simultaneously. Rotate the pad footing by 15 degrees. Let's also move the strip footing to align it better with the elevator shaft foundation. Select the handle and drag it 100 millimeters. Now the strip footing is nicely aligned. Next, create the walls for the elevator shaft. Click Panel. Create a panel. First, pick the start point and then the end point. Finish the command with the middle mouse button. Comparing with the reference model, you can see that this panel is not as wide as the architect intended. So double-click the panel to open the panel properties. Let's change the profile. 3600 is the height of the panel, 160 is the width of the panel. Change the width to 200 by typing the value that suits the architectural drawing. Click Modify to change the width, and OK to save the properties and close the dialog box. Tekla Structures uses these properties the next time you create a panel. Let's create some more walls. Click Panel and create a wall here. Activate the Snap to Intersection switch to snap to the intersection points. Now you can create the third wall panel. To create the fourth wall panel, use a reference point. The panel should be 200 millimeters wide, so the midpoint is 100 millimeters from the edge. Hold down the Control key and click on the edge. Next, snap to the correct direction. Type 100 and press Enter. Now you have picked the correct position as the start point. Next, pick the end point and finish with the middle mouse button. Now you have modeled the walls for one of your elevators. Let's save this model and continue building the structure in the next video.